Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on First Callouts. This is a show I do every Wednesday for you competitors out there where I'm teaching you how to get yourself into that first callout. Today we're going to talk about posing and what you need to know to figure out the right poses for your physique. And this is relevant information for any competitor in any division. The tips I'm going to give you today are going to be pretty damn good. Please make sure you do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and then you share the video when you get something out of it, which I promise you that you will. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. This is First Callout. No matter who you are, what division you compete in, bodybuilding requires two things. It requires training very hard to attain the right symmetry, shape, proportion, and then it requires dieting, okay? Getting the right level of body fat percentage to get on stage. However, these two things are often mistakenly put as the emphasized most important part of bodybuilding, but the actual most important part of bodybuilding, guess what? It's your posing. Posing is everything because you could be the best training in the gym, you can attain the best physique through that and dieting, and if you don't know how to pose and present come show day, guess what? You're not going to do well. You're definitely not getting yourself in that first call out if your posing isn't off, okay? And I'll tell you what, I've been to so many shows. So many shows, hundreds and hundreds of shows where I've seen great physiques on stage, people that look really good, they have the right muscle, they have the right conditioning, they should win their class, they should be in that first call out, get last place or in the last call outs because of the fact they don't know how to pose, they don't know how to present their physique. But when it comes to posing, there's so many things out there, right? How do you know what the posing is going to be the best for you? Which poses are the ones you need to do, and how do you even go about this whole thing in the first place, right? Well, first thing you got to understand is every division has a different requirement for the posing. So you need to know what those requirements are, okay? And then you also got to understand this. Every single person's poses should be different. I know a lot of people out here are copycatting everybody on Instagram, thinking, hey, I like the bikini chick's posing, I'm gonna copy her. Hey, I like this men's physiques dude's posing, I'm gonna copy him. Well, guess what? Copying poses doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. Just because it worked for somebody else does not mean it will work for you. And this is also the mistake when it comes to posing coaching, okay? Because I strongly do suggest anyone out here, if you're trying to pose, you're trying to be your best, get a posing coach. However, the variety of posing coaches we have out in the world are insane, alright? The unfortunate part about the sport that we're in right now is everybody who has ever competed once or even thought about competing at this point decides to become a coach or a posing coach. Well, at the end of the day, it does not mean they are qualified to help you get better, to help you pose, right? They are, in fact, qualified to take your money, and maybe they're cheaper, but it doesn't actually help you get a better result. And so often we see coaches that are posing coaches that literally have no idea how to pose at all because they only know how to pose their routine, and most of the time, they could use a posing coach. So regardless of what division you want to do or where you want to go, I strongly do suggest you get yourself a posing coach. Why? Let me tell you this. What should be your goal of posing is to always do this. Show your strong points, hide your weak points. You know why? Judges are always looking for your weak points. And a lot of competitors don't know this. A lot of coaches don't even know this, right? And that's the difference between getting one of them IG bio coaches or a real deal coach. And there's a lot of them out there. What you got to understand is that, hey, judges want to see what your weak points are because they're scoring you based on your weak points, all right? They also want to see where you're really strong, what you're looking like, how you're doing. That's why the posing is everything. The amount of competitors that waste an entire prep coming into a competition, having done all their dieting, done all their cardio, done all the training, done all the grueling processes, the sacrifices of prep, to show up on show day and not know how to pose, it's absolutely insane. Because at the end of the day, they could do so much better, and they're afraid of spending more money on a posing coach, but they wasted all the money they did otherwise on that prep because they didn't have one. 1, 2, 3! just said, when I'm working with an athlete for posing, when anyone on TeamFFLEX, our posing coach is working with any athletes, we're looking for that. We're looking for strong points in that athlete and weak points. And no matter who you are, what you are, you got them. Everybody's got those things, okay? Weak points does not necessarily always mean, by the way, an area that needs to be increased. Sometimes it's an area that's overdeveloped. For example, bikini girls can get overdeveloped glutes, and now their glutes actually become a weak point because it can score them down. The way you got to think about weak points is anything that could score you down is a weak point. So when you go on stage, you got to know, hey, how do I present my physique in the best way to fit the criteria of my division first off, but then also to really accentuate the best parts of my physique and hide the ones that could score me down. And this is an art form when you do it right. Posing is definitely an art to every degree, all right? And unfortunately, what we see is a lot of competitors that do the conveyor belt. And what I mean by the conveyor belt is they follow the same things that everybody else does. They decide they're going to pose themselves, they're watching YouTube, they're looking things up, they're copycatting, and what happens for the judges, they look up and they're seeing a conveyor belt. Every bodybuilder doing the same pose, every men's physique doing the same pose, every bikini girl doing the same pose. And it doesn't stand you out. In fact, they're sitting there looking for your weak points and you're showing them all of them because the posing routines you're doing are fit for some other athlete that did exactly what I just said, and yet here you are doing it where basically what ends up happening is you're bearing out all your weak points. And you might say, well, how do you even know what the judges are looking for, coach, right? How do you even know? And I'll tell you straight up, I know for a fact that the judges look for certain things in certain divisions and they want to see specific things for each criteria. And with that, the posing and the presentation is literally everything. The physique that you think you're supposed to have and the way that you pose and all that is far, far different from what the people at the panel that are scoring you and pulling you out into those call-outs are looking for. All right, at the end of the day, I haven't sat at the judging panel, but I've sat right behind them at many, many shows. And I can see it's a whole different perspective. 2 feet up on stage, it looks a lot different than face-to-face, straight on in your Instagram and all this, right? 2 feet up, everything's looking different. You got to know how to work your poses to show your best angles and hide your weakest points. Because again, you all have weak points. And the competitor that does this the best will be the one that lands in the first call-outs. Hey, you might even win the whole show.
I think I'm playing chess, I see a king, I'm at his neck. I'm 3 steps ahead at every move, now that's a check. Yes, they wanna know my secret.
Finding the poses that fit your physique really revolve around you looking at your physique in a very subjective way. And again, this is why it's important to have a coach, because it's very hard for competitors to do this. Trust me, I know. I coach a lot of competitors. They all get in their head. They all see things that are not there, and it's just the way it is. So you got to have a coach that can help guide you. Get yourself a qualified posing coach, because literally what I see when I'm down there sitting in the audience watching competitors now is I'm looking at the same things the judges are looking at. I'm looking for the shape, the symmetry from upper to lower, the conditioning, all these things. I'm not doing it nearly as efficiently. I'm not trying to all say that I'm a judge or anything like that, but I can think as a perspective that is not in the competitor's perspective, right? And that's often what holds people back, that competitor type perspective that basically says, oh, this is this, this is that, and you put your own personal beliefs into what actually should be being done based on what the rules of the NPC organization are, okay? And this is a huge thing. And so when you get out there and you're presenting and you're really able to show it and you can present your strong points, you all of a sudden stand out. Remember that conveyor belt we were talking about? You don't fit it anymore. And the first thing the judges want to do now is say, hey, do you remember that girl? You remember that guy? They look great. They did this new stuff. Let's pull them out. Let's bring them into the first call out. And that's how you get that first call out, not showing the weak points, because the judges are also thinking at that same time, hey, let's pull them back out. I didn't see anything bad. I didn't see any weak areas, but I really want to see if they're there. Are they really that good? Are they going to win this class? That's how you get yourself in the first call-outs, ladies and gents, is you got to look at your physique in a very subjective way and say, what are my strongest points? What are my weakest points? How do I accentuate my strongest points? How do I hide my weakest points? And I'll tell you this, your posing routine should not look like anybody else's routine. It should be all custom built for you, totally individual. This is what we do at TeamFFLEX. This is what any good posing coach will do. There are a number of them out there. They're never going to give you the same regurgitated routine. They're going to look at your physique. They're going to say, okay, this needs to change here. Shoulders need to be here. Waist waist needs to do that, glutes need to do that, legs here, and they're going to basically build you out in a clay model art form, and that's exactly what posing is. Posing is an art. Posing is what bodybuilding is at the end of the day. It's not a dieting competition. It's not a training competition. It is a bodybuilding competition, and when you go, no matter what division you're in, bikini, wellness, figure, men's physique, any of the bodybuilding divisions, anything, you're showing up and you're presenting. You are performing an art form to show your physique, and that is something that has been lost a lot with social media. People thinking they can just watch videos on YouTube, copycat everybody else, and they're going to be able to get it. At the end of the day, you can get some basics, but you're never going to be able to bring your best, and a lot of times competitors are putting it under the table. They're putting everything to the wayside, thinking that they're going to be able to just diet the best, train the best, and they're going to come in and win the show with half-ass posing. It just won't happen. These days, honestly, the physique quality is so high that it is down to the posing a lot of times. Who's posing better? Who's got the better presentation? These physiques, they all add up pretty much the same, so who's got this and that? And that it can be the differential. That can be for sure the difference of you getting in the first call out, winning the show, going to, from, and beyond, all right? And that's what I want to make this video for today, was understand that. I strongly recommend you get yourself with a qualified posing coach, somebody that can help you. If you want help for free, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now, and we even offer you a free posing session. Just put your email in the box, boom, subscribe to our free trial, mention that you want to do posing when you get on the other side of that, and we will get you a free session with our pro posing coaches. It's an insane offer. Nobody's doing that. I guarantee you'll find any other coaches doing that. We're doing that because we want to help you. So if you want to pose for free, you want a free assessment of your physique, you want to try a free trial, whatever, go to TeamFFLEX.com right now and do that. Otherwise, if you're not going to do that, which is crazy because it's free, expert, world-class coaching, at least take into consideration what I said today and apply it to your stuff, because I guarantee you it's going to make you better. It's going to help you get into that iconic first call. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. Hope to see you on the other side. Thank you for watching. Coach Rye is out.